Total Geek Live. Ha ha! We be jamming.
You sound like an Ocean Spray commercial. Ocean Spray, Ocean Spray, Ocean Spray, Ocean Spray.
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe.
Woo. So, as you can see, you can't see me. I think my camera is crapping out, or at least Skype is just refusing to.
Skype's being Skype.
Yeah. Skype's like, you must update. Update. I can't see your camera. Okay.
He's the voice of all of us.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Cassettes, Skype, cassettes.
So, this is your first time around. This is Total Geek Live. I am Kaiser, and I am here with Baltimore Guy and Danny. And this is our end of the month show, so it's going to last about an hour. We're going to play catch up with what we've been up to, and then we're going to start talking about our topic, which is Show Us Your Johnson. Although I can't see mine, my video's not working, so I can't hold up any pictures.
Disqualified.
That is Dwayne.
Can you?
The Rock Johnson. And we're going to be talking about him and his career and our favorite movies of his. And we could all smell what The Rock is cooking because it's been on a stove a bit too long, we think. What was that, guy?
Is he cooking turkey tetrazzini? I hope so.
Well, it's burnt.
That turkey dry.
Alright, I was grabbing something to hold up, but you can't see what I'm doing. Guy, why don't you start us off with what have you been up to lately?
Alright, so what I've been up to. Well, I've been just kind of working on some writing and things like that, but primarily some of the cool things I've been able to kind of get behind. You know, I get periodically addicted to Kickstarter, and I have to kind of keep myself away from it because I always see projects that I like and want to back. Well, I wasn't away from it long enough because there is a board game based off of Homestar Runner's Trogdor that I decided to back.
Oh, I wish I had the money for that. That game looks great.
Comes complete with thatched roof cottages and burnination for the villagers, the peasants.
Nice.
So I am all for that, and I'm looking forward to checking that out. The second thing I backed was a documentary film about the last Blockbuster. All the Blockbuster videos have basically closed except for one last one in Bend, Oregon. So I'm backing a documentary about the very last video store, which I think is kind of funny in itself.
And it'll be the very last video store documentary that you back.
That's right.
I have it up for rental.
What?
On the new release wall.
That would be get a physical copy of it and start your own rental store.
That would be the most meta thing ever.
A little bit, yeah.
That would be awesome.
I'd be so happy though. I'd applaud them for that. I think.
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
it's kind of a slow August. It's been humid as everything where I am, and yeah, I don't go outside much when it's not raining. I had 3 days of no rain. That was new. New concept. So, but we're done with that dry time. The dry times are over.
Hello, Vision Purse 4. We got a chat.
Hello,
chatter.
Vision Purse 4.
Hello. I can't get in. I'm trying to log in so I can see the chat.
Welcome.
Well, since I'm logged in, is it not? Do you have your own personal?
That's what I'm working on. I'm trying to create one.
Right.
Oh, you. We never could stay mad at you.
Guy, did you want to talk? You did start a project recently. Did you want to talk about diving into that project? Even though it's not coming out anytime soon, I know you have started heavily working on it. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, and I don't have to talk with
you
my.
Up so well.
What's that?
He set you up so well.
Yeah, he did. All right, I'll talk about it. So some of our earlier videos back when Total Geek Live first started, we focused on a little section called Can a Geek, and we talked about a little bit of our history of the hometown. And we did a number of subjects, and I'm a big fan of pop culture, especially things that happened before the digital age. So I'm taking some of that concept and building out some additional concepts, and I'm working on a book full of pictures, interviews, all sorts of things. I have been basically buried in this book for the last month, and I've gotten a couple chapters done. Nothing in a concrete, really, truly readable state, but I'm working on it, and it's going well. I'm hoping to preserve parts of hometown history that definitely have not been covered before. So
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, he's doing some good work. I can attest to. It's gonna be good.
I can't wait to get my copy.
Speaking
I will definitely have copies for. Oh, and I will do one small spoiler. You are all mentioned at some point or another in the book in some form or fashion. So
ooh, I hope I'm in the fashion part.
exactly, I did a 96-page retrospective on your beard.
Sweet.
I described each follicle.
From whisker to
The early years, the
from whisper to whisker.
whisper to whisker.
When they were wisps of a whisker.
Yeah, right. When he was 2.
I just hadn't talked about it too much yet because it's one of those things that when I start approaching people for interviews, the inevitable question that has come out: when's it coming out? When it's done, I guess is the best.
Yep.
Right.
way.
Here you go. When I'm done.
Baltimore can most easily attest to all of that, having published 2 books of his own.
Yeah, great segue. Because
Yeah.
somebody's got book number 2.
Somebody does.
Oh, I thought you had a copy of it.
No, it's supposed to be coming. My proof
That
copy.
is a really thin book.
I know. Still easy read.
You can write your own words.
I know. No, this is a postcard that I got from Kaiser, who was awesome enough to make them for us. The proof copy should be coming to me in the next few days to take a look at it. So that's exciting to get that finally in my hands to actually read, and look at it. Here's some bookmarks that Kaiser did as well.
Cool.
Front are kind of the same. So that's exciting, and then I guess I will announce it. We are having book launches in Texas the first week of October, so you're hearing that first. New York, Dallas, Houston, and Corsicana, we're going to have book launches that first week. Dates are being settled, venues are being settled at the moment, so it will be happening. Just not exactly, firmed up on everything, but you will be informed.
Right on.
So that's been fun to work on, and like I may have mentioned before, now full tilt on the 3rd book to try to finish up the trilogy and get that done and over with, so we can work on more things. So just a lot of that, and that's where. And it's hot. It's really hot here. I'm sorry. I know it's hot in Texas, but it's been really hot and muggy here, and it's just like really terrible. So subway's hot, not fun.
Oh, did you catch the Spider-Man subway yet?
No, I haven't been looking for it. I think it's in a different subway that I take.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man subway, if you don't know, is there's a huge new Spider-Man game coming out. No, not a sandwich. It's a huge promo subway car with the Spider-Man art from the new PS4 game, and it's just
Comes out this coming month, I think, right?
September
next
7th.
week. Next week.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've pre-ordered my copy. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I think I'm going to trade in some games and pre-order so I can get the bonus costumes and stuff.
Nice.
Nice.
But I'm personally disappointed that it's not a sandwich. I can only imagine the ingredients. Like taking a bite, kind of webby.
Well, if
You can make your own Spider-Man noises.
I know, right?
Well, staying on the whole book train, I'm holding up a copy of my script for Defying Gravity. It's not
Try defying gravity.
I cannot see this title without that damn song going through my head.
I mean,
Neither can we.
What song?
Defying
Defying
Gravity.
gravity.
From
By
Wicked.
who?
By Wicked.
By
From the music-
Alphaba. The
Idina
musical.
Menzel.
What?
You're just trying to get us to sing it, aren't you?
No, I'm trying to get you to tell me what song is it?
It's from the
Uh,
musical
Wicked
Wicked.
is about the story of the Wicked Witch before.
Oh, okay, never saw it. Yeah, I'm aware because Christian Chenoweth was
Yeah.
what's her face? Yeah,
Right. Linda.
yeah, but not familiar with any of the music at all.
Danny, you need some music in your life.
You do.
I do. I have. It's called Daft Punk and Gorillaz and.
In your life.
Next week's episode is Danny singing the entire soundtrack for our enjoyment.
Oh, Jen T says Baby Shark doot 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 doot.
Baby shark, doot doot.
Baby.
I can't unhear that.
That club
thing.
mix is insane.
Baby Shark.
All right. Let's get back to Defying Gravity.
Okay, so Defying Gravity is a play I am in. I am now officially old because I got cast as the elderly gentleman who is retired and traveling the country.
You know what? People retire at earlier ages. You don't have to be super old.
Well, but this takes place in the 80s. The show's about the Challenger explosion. And it's from a bunch of different perspectives. It's a really, really interesting play. I'm really glad they're doing something a little grittier here.
Yeah.
But
So,
I am the
be-
I am the comic relief though.
Oh, okay.
So
That's good.
that's
When-
fun.
when-
It's such a lighthearted, wacky subject.
Exactly.
So will you be traveling around Texas picking up the pieces of the Challenger?
Funny
Damn.
you should say that. No.
Oh.
But
Okay.
there is a scene like that, so that's kind of funny you should say that.
Oh.
And
And it defy gravity.
no.
Well, we know what screenplay you're writing, Danny.
When does it open?
It opens October 18th at the,
Oh.
at the warehouse.
Hey, that's a day in October.
It is the 18th day of October.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And yeah, it's a great cast. A couple of the other cast members I haven't been on stage with since they were little tiny children, so it's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bit weird.
It's like, I remember when I stage managed you and you were this tall.
And now you're still this tall because
No,
I'm.
actually, yeah. Danielle didn't grow much. She's a tiny little girl. Sorry, Danielle, if you ever see this. But you know you're tiny.
Or not.
So the second thing I was going to show and hold up was the kind of final version of the Counter Forces instruction sheet.
Oh.
John, you're kind of hard to hear, according to the studio audience.
What I'm holding up now is the Counter Forces instruction sheet that's semi-final. We're about to go into some hardcore testing, and hopefully this is it. You can hear it? You hear that manual?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll be looking to gather up some people to play my game. So that's that, Danny.
Cool.
Oh, just a quick reminder for those people who attend John's show, make sure you bring a Sharpie with you so you can sign the cast as they go along. Hate me now. It's just better to do it than later.
I
All right.
Danny?
Not a whole lot going on this side. I do have one show and tell thing to show that I didn't get to go, but my oldest daughter Topanga went to Anime Fest. I believe it was last weekend. Has it been, or maybe it was 2 weekends ago?
I think it was the weekend before last.
Yeah, so it was 2 weekends ago. So she brought me back because the whole first floor of the convention is the artist alley, and what's great is that they don't charge admission for people who want to access just the artist alley.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's open to the public. So she got me this really cool Black Panther artwork.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yep. Wakanda forever. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to place it.
I don't know. You're gonna have to
Wall.
replace Doctor Strange, maybe.
I know, or
Of the TGL?
in the TGL poster, or I don't know. I don't quite know yet. Maybe I'll do it right there
That's a good
and,
place.
and remove the and put the avatar
Above it.
thing somewhere else. Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
So yeah, so I think it was pretty
You
cool.
guys
There's
started-
so many cool, talented people. Oh, there's no card. That's a bummer. I thought there'd be a card or something.
Oh, man, we want
Oh.
to give to the artist.
Yeah, give props to the artists, and I have no way of knowing. They didn't even sign their own artwork. There's nothing printed on. You would think they would print it on the back here or
Yeah,
something. Or,
Let us know so we can thank them.
Yes.
yeah. So I may do some research. Maybe I can go on DeviantArt and do some research about it and find out.
Put it on
Yeah.
a milk carton. Have you seen
Yeah.
this artist?
Have you seen this person?
Wander aimlessly convention to convention.
I need to find out who made this.
Who's responsible?
Let's look.
Yeah, who's responsible
walk
for
around
this?
Right.
Was it you?
Oh, great.
Yeah. Well, that's it for me. Not a whole lot going on right now.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, if you've seen our promo for tonight's show, that we've had the Rock's face plastered everywhere, and I hope it didn't make people think we had the Rock on tonight's show. And,
Well, we do have 5 viewers. That's kind of a record.
He's gonna Skype in.
right.
I mean, he isn't everything these days. It's plausible. I mean,
We will have a rock joining us.
We'll have a Rock, maybe
Yeah.
not the Rock, but we'll have a Rock joining us.
you know, if not him, Samuel L. Jackson, our odds are just as good
Right.
for being in everything.
Yeah. That's for sure.
So yes, so the Rock.
Yes.
So
He's cooking.
he is
Or
cooking.
you're smelling what is cooking or something.
So we decided the other day, based on a previous discussion we were having, we're having a little bit of Johnson burnout. I mean,
Johnson fatigue.
Fatigue.
yeah, a little Johnson fatigue, and
Yeah. Feeling a little limp.
Listless.
Yes.
and I love the guy, I really do. I love his work. We're gonna go around. We're gonna talk about actually some of our favorite Johnson's appearances, and then kind of go from there. So,
Can we just address the elephant in the room by just saying automatically that he is in a lot of jungle movies?
yes,
Yes.
You could combine all those scenes together, and we should just get all those movies and edit it and see what kind of movie we can come up with. I bet it would be astounding.
let's make a game out of it. We'll play a jungle clip, and we'll have to guess which jungle movie it's from.
Which movie it was in.
Well, that's
Yeah.
not fair.
Oh, come on, it'll be fun. We'll make it a drinking game. We'll make it our next drinking episode.
What Johnson am I?
Jungle Johnson. That's the name of the game.
That's the name of the game.
Or a 70s adult film.
A little bit on the nose there.
Yeah, it's kind of a...
Johnson now.
I mean, kind of getting crazy because what spurred this whole thing is that the news came out, I think yesterday or the day before, that they're going to do a kind of a sequel or a continuation of Big Trouble in Little China, the classic 80s movie with Kurt Russell. But it's going to star Dwayne Johnson, not Kurt Russell.
As Jack Burton, rumored.
Right, rumored.
To be Jack Burton.
And that right there that's what spawned this whole conversation because I brought it to the guys to go, you know what, guys? One thing I thought that Big Trouble in Little China was a great standalone film. Doesn't need a continuation. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with it just being a one-off and all that.
Read the comics if you want a continuation. Right.
And then the fact that they're just going to throw, here's The Rock in yet another movie. I mean, it seems like he's doing 4 or 5 movies a year now. And
I
feel like 3 movies a season, to be honest. Every time I turn around, there's a preview for him. He's never not in previews for movies.
Right,
they finally got rid of Mission Impossible Fallout, thank God.
Which is crazy because, I mean, he's in an HBO show called Billions, or Ballers, or whatever. A B word. It's a B word.
Speaking of Baltimore, you were very hard to hear.
Me?
Okay, now we can hear you.
Well, I wasn't really talking.
I don't think he was talking, but
thank you.
Okay.
If anything nefarious happens to The Rock, modern cinema is dead. There are no more movies.
I guess not.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, I mean, they've got Big Trouble in Little China announced. Doc Savage is announced, which, for you people out there...
don't see that actually being made.
Right. It's a hero before even, like, comic books and stuff. It was these serial... Like war stories, little things, where he's like sometimes he'd be in a jungle or he does it or whatever.
In a jungle?
What?
Yeah, and Doc Savage. He'd always have like a torn up shirt and stuff, and he had a very high intellect, but he was also tough and rugged and doing all sorts of heroic things. But it's just, I don't know. I don't think it's like you're really stretching for material there, because I mean, I don't think a lot of people now even know who Doc Savage is. Why would they go to the movies to see a character that they're not very familiar with at all?
Well, it'd be like
on The Rock.
Yeah, it's like you're not going because you know the license. You're going because you know the.
You're going for The Rock. Yeah.
But at the same time, that's been pre-production for years and years and years and years and years, even before he was attached to it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm very skeptical about it being actually made at all.
It'll end
do you think it'd be like a?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was saying, do you think it'd be like a John Carter sort of thing, where based off as Gen T pointed out, like a pulp thing, and it's just too old, doesn't get it, sort of thing, regardless.
I mean, like Danny was saying, it's like you can either go in 2 different ways. You can either embrace the the pulpness of it, or you go and go camp, or you just go completely different and make it something else. And
you make it like a hardcore World War II story,
Yeah, but even that, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think going more Indiana Jones style would you'd find a little bit of success there.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I wanted to touch back on him being cast in Big Trouble just a little bit. The problem with him being cast as Jack Burton is Jack Burton's just kind of this blowhard that thinks he's a badass, but he's not really. It's the people around him that are badasses. You know, it's Wang and Egg Shun, you know, and all them.
Right.
He's never really. He kind of is a little bit, but not to the extent where he's like this big bad, you know, mofo.
No, he was just a regular kind of. He was just a regular truck driver. He was an average day blue collar worker guy. He's not a big giant rock wrestler dude.
Yeah.
He's more like the bar fight kind of guy.
So is he playing Jack, or because I heard this was a sequel, not a reboot?
Yeah, and on the IMDb, it has it listed as Jack Burton.
Could be his son.
Jack Jr.
Jack Jr. Jack Jr.
Yeah.
JJ.
Jacked up Jr.
Yeah, that's for sure. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it would be better served as just to reboot it and with him in there, and that would be. Not that I'm in favor of it being the case, but I just feel like a sequel to it doesn't really. I mean, I don't know. There's so many quads. It's probably gonna be sort of somewhat vaguely linked to the original, with like all the things are now that don't really want to have a tie to the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Jen says that there's a theory that he's the sidekick, but that he thinks he's the protagonist. That's kind of funny.
That would be interesting. That would be a very interesting take.
So Johnson's actually Wang? So,
I could argue Wang was actually the protagonist.
He really is. That's what I was saying. Jack Burton wasn't the badass hero of that. It was Wang and his cohorts.
Yeah.
Sort of like the Green Hornet scenario, where the Green Hornet wasn't really the hero.
It was Kato.
Kato, that was really the one.
Exactly.
Kind of mystical. Yeah. What else does Johnson have on the line?
San Andreas 2?
Yeah, San Andreas 2, for whatever reason. I mean, I never watched the first one, so I don't know how much destruction happened with... I'm sure there was an earthquake involved, but I guess there's going to be yet another earthquake.
So I
and
got
maybe this time sharks come out of the earthquake and...
Baby shark?
A tornado and...
Dude, I've got the perfect tagline for it.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs and...
It's San Andreas 2, the crack is back.
The cracking.
Yes, copyright that.
The crack is back.
It's just a big crack in the earth.
Yeah.
Rock is crack.
Well, he is to the movie studios. Jeez.
Yeah.
Johnson.
What else he has? He's Black Adam.
Yes, Black Adam, which is in pre-production, and then that character is also rumored to be in Suicide Squad 2. We shall see. Yeah, for whatever reason.
Because it's the Oscar-winning Suicide Squad.
He's also in a very generic-sounding plot movie called Red Notice. The plot is an Interpol agent tracks the world's most wanted art thief.
You tell me he's
Actually a puppet.
agent.
So, Red Notice. Then there's the Untitled sequel to Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I'm okay with that. Hobbs and Shaw, which is in pre-production. That is a spin-off from the Fast and Furious movies that he's been in.
So he teams up with Calvin and Hobbs.
Right, Calvin and Hobbes and Shaw,
Yeah.
and then
I'd pay
Calvin
to see that.
is evidently killed, and that's why Hobbes and Shaw go and kind of investigate his murder
That I would watch.
and
I would-
everything.
It'd be like the new Mac and Me.
Man, I thought they would be done with the stupid roof stuff.
And they've lost their damn rhythm. They're just whacking willy-nilly now.
No, you go on a
Seriously.
four
No case for
beat.
Johnsons at all.
These people, they should be done with the roof. I mean, they've had 2 days. 2 days.
Ask the roofer if they'd like to be on the show.
They already are.
Just
So
to
what's
say
your-
it's The Rock. Have like a little name tag on him, says I'm The Rock. Hi, kids.
All right, so we need to talk about what's our favorite Johnson.
Oh, wait, hold on. He's in another movie coming out called Jungle Cruise, and Kaiser was saying it's based on the Disneyland theme ride Jungle Cruise. Yet another jungle movie. So maybe we need to hold off on the whole jungle thing drinking game until this movie comes out.
Or until a
And then-
trailer, at least.
Maybe what they're doing is just cutting all the stuff together to make Jungle Cruise from all of his old jungle movies.
Brilliant.
That would be
It's so hard,
genius.
yeah.
They could
Save
save
a lot
so
of
much money.
So that's quite an extensive list. Now, what movies are scheduled to come out for next week for Dwayne Johnson?
Something called Fighting with My Family.
Oh God, serious?
It's completed, so I'm sure it's coming out soon. It's
I have
a
to say, he's got an amazing work ethic. No matter what, I mean, he's very busy, always working on a TV show. I think it's the 3rd or 4th season of it, so that's intense. And on top of all of his motion picture films, that's a lot of time to be spending. So that's pretty impressive.
And he still pops in on the WWE every once in a while.
Does
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
He's still rocking.
Yeah, he pops in that. He does the stuff he does voiceover work for the video games, the WWE 2K
Yep.
18 and whatever. Yeah. So yeah, he's like always going, man.
Get that money. Go for it. Do it.
That guy definitely enjoys his work for sure. I think the only person that even comes comparable to I do movies because I really like doing this is Joe Manganiello. I think he's the only other guy. I just want to do movies, man. I'm having a good time and doesn't care what it is.
Right?
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great.
All right, so let's go clockwise, Guy. What is your favorite rock?
So I have a couple that I like. I remember first seeing him doing the Scorpion King and the Mummy, and I remember that was god awful CG. God,
Yeah.
that was the worst CG ever. Even in the age of bad CG, that was just awful.
Yep.
But to get to the question, I am kind of a tie between Jumanji that came out last year. That was far better than I thought it would be. Although I really like him in Moana. I think that was just another fun movie for him. I really liked all the singing and just the comedy, and he really lended his voice very well to animation. And Jen T said Jack Black does teenage girls very well. Yes, he does.
Yes.
Jack Black is a
for-
great teenage
for-
girl.
Phrasing.
Yeah. No. He portrays the role of. There we go.
Okay.
And of course, I get eternal hate for this, but screw it. I liked him in Rampage.
I did too.
Yeah, you are. I hate you. So
I'm living my life. I'm being me. I don't care.
I'm not gonna say I loved him in Rampage, but I've considered if I had the cash, would buy the Blu-ray.
Oh man.
I can't
I will
with you. I'm
eventually.
a white girl can't with you.
All right, so Rampage and Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and Moana.
Mm-hmm.
That's your top three.
I think those are my top three.
Out of those, what would you say is the biggest Johnson performance for you?
I think Jumanji was really funny. As I think it was more awkward comedy. You know, him playing a dorky kid being this cool, super buff guy with the whole smoldering thing. He was so hammy in it. He just kind of won me over with that. But it was fun.
Awesome.
I think that was my top.
All
My
right.
top Johnson.
You top Johnson?
My top Johnson. It's like top ramen, but it's Johnson.
just add some water.
Just add some water. Boom! Instant Johnson. You gotta deal with it right in your face.
Slurp it up.
Okay.
All right, B.
On that
Well, I
note,
actually had to go on to IMDb because I was like, I don't really actually remember what he's done. You know, guy brought up The Mummy Returns, The Scorpion King. Like, oh yeah, he was in that. And so I'm going through the list. I'm like, I think I've honestly seen maybe 5 or 6 of his films. I know that he's been in all this stuff, but I've just apparently avoided this Johnson pretty well. Like, I forgot he was in Hercules.
From what? What was that?
I forgot he was in Hercules.
Oh yeah, that version.
I didn't even see that movie.
I did. He's
Well, the
good
thing
in
was,
it. But...
there was 2 Hercules come out. One with him, and then one with that other kid from Twilight. And I think they came out the same both year. I'd have to say Jumanji. That's the best Johnson.
Jumanji Johnson, 2 votes.
I did see Skyscraper. Oh, no, not Skyscraper. What was the other one? That other disaster one?
San Andreas.
No.
The other disaster one.
Journey to the Mysterious Island.
we can narrow it down.
Oh,
Was
no,
he
I
in the
did see
jungle?
San Andreas. Is that the one where they go to San Francisco?
He's in a helicopter.
The San Andreas fault finally snaps, and California is falling into the ocean, and he's like trying to save like his daughter or something.
Right.
He basically goes like this. He pulls a Captain America. He holds Nevada and then holds California and pulls California
I
back.
need a little geography
Like
lesson, but yes, okay. I think I did see that one actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those are the.
Oh, Nevada in California. Yeah.
I did like Race to Witch Mountain, but it wasn't really due to him, so that's really fair to say. I avoid the Fast and the Furious TV movies. Rampage was garbage, so sorry guys.
Vision Purge
I'll
says he is really good in Tooth Fairy, which I was going to bring up.
I do appreciate that he does a lot of Disney films and make, it's probably a little bit of strategic getting.
Well, that was
Early
a
on.
while ago. That was early on in his career that he was doing kid-friendly movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I was afraid he was going to go down the Hulk Hogan Suburban Commando route.
Right.
And end up like with Hulk Hogan's career once he started doing Tooth Fairy.
Mr. Nanny.
Yeah, Mr. Nanny. But he pulled out of it. He didn't nosedive like the Hulk did.
Johnson pulled out of it.
Lucky.
So Jumanji's your numero
Yeah,
uno?
I think so.
Of the 5 you've seen?
Yeah.
One of my favorites goes back to kind of the burgeoning of his career, is The Rundown. And it is just a fun movie. He is just badass in it. I've seen that movie, I can't tell you how many times. If you haven't seen The Rundown, he's like an ex... football, military, something or another, big badass, but wants to be a chef. But he's not a hitman, but he tracks people down for money. Is kind of what he does for a living.
Ah, okay.
And
Like the Tooth Fairy.
Like the Tooth Fairy. And
Isn't it it's a remake, I believe.
It might be.
I think it's a remake.
He is also in the jungle in it.
Oh.
Of course.
He shares the screen with Sean William Scott. Sean William Scott's the kid he's after to try to bring back to his dad or whatever. But the villain in it is Christopher Walken, and he's always fun to watch. But there's this scene. There's a lot of scenes. It's a movie, but there's this scene towards the end where The Rock runs and just shoulders the support of this building and knocks it down. And it is just amazing. It's like, damn. It's like that movie sold me on him as an actor and as an action star. I'm like, I'm in. This guy's got a career. You know? And then since then, he tends to play either because he's like an Olympian god in real life. So like even when he plays a normal Joe character, his backstory is like CIA special forces. You know,
I had to explain all the
like in Skyscraper. You know, he tests security systems, but you know he's an blah 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 special forces badass. It's like that's just in every role because you have to explain why he looks the way he does.
Well, same thing for Rampage. I mean, he was like a guerrilla behavioralist, but he's also like a vet and a sniper and a helicopter pilot, and he's just like all these roles. It's like you're a
gourmet chef.
Yeah, you're a guerrilla behavioralist, and man, he's got it.
Plumbug 47638. I'll just call you Plumbug. Like Skyscraper. Hello.
Mm-hmm. That was set in an urban jungle. See,
still a jungle.
He's smart, man. He knows what he's doing.
He does. Maybe he's got some sort of, I don't know, contract with the Jungle Commission. I don't know.
I wanted to be an environmentalist / military commander / razor scooter racer /
Sounds about right.
Man.
Oh, and going back, so the Kaiser, the Rundown, that wasn't the remake movie I was thinking of. That one came out a year later. It was Walking Tall. That was a remake.
That was the remake.
He was in that.
Basically the same movie though?
No, not as the Rundown.
In my head, yes, but
no, Walking Tall.
Plot-wise, no.
Yeah, no, Walking Tall is about the small town that's overrun by like the government, whatever, and they
Is it in a jungle?
No, it's in just like a small like.
You would think
town.
so, because you would think like he's had to walk tall because there's like tall grass around him and vines and everything. But no.
Very misleading.
He's Southland Tales. His acting is good. It is a strange movie. It's just bizarre. But what was the other one? Get Smart. So I was watching that again last night, and
that's the Anne Hathaway and what's his name?
Steve Carell. That's a remake of the old Get Smart TV series, but The Rock plays like the epitome, like alpha agent, like the best of the best that everybody aspires to be. And he's not even the cocky one. It's like the other agents are cocky, and he kind of like even puts them in their place. He's like such like a good guy. I thought he pulled that role off very well. I won't give away the surprise twist.
Now I know there's a twist.
I'm really surprised you guys aren't mentioning Doom. He was in the movie Doom.
Well, just because we worked at...
Specifically not mentioning it.
Yeah, just because
that's a bad gaming movie.
Yeah.
You think Rampage is bad? No, man, that's Doom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Rampage is cinematic art.
Compared to Doom.
Yeah.
At least they, honored the source material a little bit better in Rampage. I mean, yeah, we have...
Good thing.
I mean, what source material are we talking about? You had 3 giant creatures, and they punched buildings.
And what are you doing, Rampage?
They stuck to the source material closer.
No. First, he was like making friends with one of them in like a zoo environment and stuff. And
Yeah, that made one of them the good guy. And yeah, we could go down the list of everything that got wrong. And I think we did in one video.
Check it out.
It's one of them. Just watch all of our old videos. You'll find it.
Oh yes, all of them in one sitting.
Only a year's worth.
Yeah.
And for Trek Geeks, he was in an episode of Star Trek Voyager.
Well, I think
Miley Cyrus.
Plumbug jumped in, said, "I like skyscraper," and then left.
Plumbug had a strong opinion, and we appreciate that. Thank you, Plumbug.
Yep. Thanks very much for your skyscraper love.
But you left into that I say Bob Plumbug.
She walked into that one.
Yeah.
What about you, Disney?
Plumbug.
You know, I didn't enjoy them, but I watched them with Topanga when she was a kid. The Tooth Fairy and then also the Game Plan was another Disney-esque. I don't know if it was Disney, but Disney-esque movie. And you know, I watched that horrible movie Doom.
Sorry.
And I saw the remake of the Walking Tall, and I remember the Mummy movies, the Mummy Returns or whatever. I saw Race of Witch Mountain, but just I don't know. I preferred the original. It was nice that they did that, but it just I don't know. It wasn't for me, I guess. I'm kind of there right along with Guy, except I'm flip-flopped. Jumanji is number 2. I loved the movie. It was very refreshing, and I loved his take on the character and everything. But I think him singing in Moana really sealed the deal for me, because it was kind of seeing this whole nother side of the rock that I hadn't really seen before, and I very much enjoyed the way he brought that life, or that character, to life, through the acting parts and also through the singing parts.
That's cool.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. I mean, he's not Broadway, but he's not bad.
Right? No. He exceeded my expectations for what, you know, when I heard that he was going to sing in it. I'm like, oh, okay, right. Whatever, but he pulled it off. I was very pleasantly surprised with it. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing him singing something else.
Nice.
Yep. So that's mine.
I do appreciate that he does take a lot of, I wouldn't say shots at himself, but I think he's self-deprecating enough to endear himself to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of the roles he takes are like really like Baywatch.
Right.
It works actually. Like I didn't see it, but you know, like the commercials are like, okay, I buy it.
No, it worked. And he was okay.
Yeah, like the Journey to the Center of the Earth. Those movies are like, okay, yeah. Like I appreciate his. You know, and I think it goes back to what you're saying with Get Smart. He kind of makes it work for him.
Yeah.
Knows his strengths. I think that's what I'm kind of getting to. He knows his strengths. He knows what he's good at, and is kind of able to, you know, cash in. But on you.
Vision Purse says maybe he wants to make as much money as possible from wrestling and acting, and then retire and be a dad and husband.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if he retires early. I think he'll be doing this for another 10 years at least.
Well,
As I said, I think he does this because he's having fun. I think he just enjoys this.
Yeah.
I mean, like everything I've read about him, he is a very strong family man. Like I feel like everything I've heard in regards to his family life is very strong father figure, very husband, family. So I also appreciate that. I think it's something that's really challenging in a creative environment to maintain those familial structures.
Yeah,
So,
that actually,
that's really impressive.
it really is, and that also what endears me to like Terry Crews, because Terry Crews is the same way. You know, is very much loves his family, a family man, and you know, in everything he does, they're really what he does it for. You know, he comes back to them, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really surprising how Dwayne Johnson has been able to be that kind of husband and dad with the amount of work that he does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, when does he have time for personal time? You know,
Yeah.
it seems like he's just constantly working. How would he have time for any type of family life? But somehow maybe he needs to write a book and say, hey, this is all you other actors, this is how you do it.
Well, if there's any truth to it, which I'm sure it's not, it was a Saturday Night Live skit, but he might be running for president for vice president with Tom Hanks in 2020.
Oh, okay.
I'd accept it. He'd still do movies. You know he would.
Oh yeah, but they'd all
I
be
think
like
he'll open
White
up a
House
chain
down.
of restaurants. Like eating. You smell what I'm cooking? Do you want it? Order it.
$5.99. It's yours.
Oh my god.
Has his own charity. Loves
know
his
this is
heritage.
Yeah.
Vision.
I also think he was announced to play the King of Hawaii in a new film coming out soon. So that's exciting for that. To be told.
Kamehameha.
King of Hawaii, huh?
Yeah, I think it just got announced. I'm not sure if there's been any huge press on it, but
Yeah.
Oh, yep, you're right. Robert Zemeckis, the Hollywood Reporter, is. It's an epic.
Is he playing King Kamehameha?
Yeah. Yep.
I told you I did more in Kauai than just drink rum.
So you read a brochure.
Else, but still.
Hey, and it's a Warner Brothers movie, and guess what the title is called?
The Jungle Knight.
No, it would be not The King.
There you go.
Walla Walla.
Rampage 2.
Well, they did do World Tour. You know, they should end
They
up
did.
in Hawaii.
I don't know if they went to the islands, but
Robert Zemeckis is directing. The script was written by Randall Wallace, who wrote the script for Braveheart.
I was about to say, I know that name.
I loved Braveheart. That was the pre-crazy Mel Gibson years.
And
Crazy.
it seems
Found out about a lot of crazy.
Oh. That was still the hidden crazy years. Okay, thank you for correcting me. That's more accurate.
Yeah.
Keep us legit there, B.
Yeah.
So Vision says he has his own charity. What is the name of his charity?
let's see.
Be happy to shout that out here on the show.
Yeah. It is called The Rock Foundation.
Dwayne Johnson Rock Foundation. Yeah.
Takes care of wayward rocks.
Rocks
Yes.
without a home.
Helps to repopulate the species because they're endangered.
It creates a platform of hope and possibility for children worldwide by providing programs designed to enrich and empower their lives and self-esteem by giving them little pet rocks.
It's a charity working with at-risk and terminally ill children.
Yes. Helps them achieving their fitness goals by lifting rocks.
He just goes around picking them up.
Yeah,
There.
picks them up.
There, I've lifted your spirits.
Educates them
Lifted
about
my rocks.
And draw bodies.
He educates them about nutrition and healthy practices by the ever famous rock soup.
Ah, that like the old children's tale.
The old children's book.
Oh,
Yep.
that's awesome.
He also pays their dental fees.
Yes, because he hands out a lot of rock candy.
Oh.
It's a tooth fairy as well.
Seriously though, how can anyone ever not like this guy? He's just hanging out, having fun, doing decent things. So yeah.
And all we're asking is, take a year off.
Right.
Let us
For
Yeah,
the
just-
kid, for the family.
let us miss you a little bit.
Yes,
That's-
exactly.
that's all
A
we're-
nice sabbatical would probably help recharge your batteries, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your family would appreciate it, and it would help us. I mean, plus it would give some other actors a chance to maybe get a job that they would lose out to you.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, John Cena's on his way up. He needs a few more roles.
Sure.
So,
That wasn't convincing. Okay, we're gonna go that route. Huh.
hey, there's been a number of wrestlers who've attempted this Hollywood level of superstardom, and The Rock has superseded them all. Hulk Hogan was the only one. Well, Andre the Giant had a few nice,
Physics.
Yeah, he had a couple.
Roddy Piper was in They Live.
Yeah. I mean, Rowdy Piper, They Live, and cult classic, Princess Bride, everybody loves Princess Bride. But they never reached the superstardom, like the Tom Cruise level of,
Crazy.
Hollywood, not crazy, Hollywood
Well, and
superstardom.
not making the amount of movies that
Yeah.
The Rock has. I mean, he's made many, many more. He's probably made as many as all of the other wrestlers combined, I bet.
I wouldn't doubt it. Or has a surplus for the next 23 years, so if anything happens, it's like you're not missing them.
Right.
He's got reserves,
Placed together.
like a vault.
And they're all in the jungle. He just switches hats. So they can edit them.
Turns it
It's always the
sideways.
same shirt, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Or no
Just
shirt.
Slightly torn.
Well, no shirt would make a visioned purse happy, according to a comment from earlier.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well, that is about our time, guys. It is 8 o'clock.
Right
Not
on.
signing off.
Who would like to do the official wrap up?
Dan Terry Gunter.
Oh, well, yes. So this has been another episode of Total Geek Live's live show, and we hope that you really enjoyed us talking about a particular Johnson out there by the name of Dwayne, otherwise known as The Rock.
D-Rock.
And definitely let us know what your favorite movie starring him is. Maybe it's a TV show, maybe it's his voiceover work, whatever kind of thing that he has done entertainment-wise that you really enjoyed. Just let us know down in the comments below. And otherwise, just tune in. We'll be back next week with a whole new live show. Same time, same channel, website, app, whatever you want to call this.
Yeah, we will be sticking with Mixer for a while. We've really enjoying the quality of its service and its ease, and it's not crapping out on us.
That's right.
So,
But then we'll keep taking these episodes and putting them out there and in our other platforms as well. So if you happen to miss it here, then hey, we'll let you know through our social media and all that where to find you. But why am I telling you that? Because you're watching right now, right?
so they can tell their friends.
So they can come
Yes.
back again.
All of them.
Tell everybody about this episode. So if you know somebody who really likes The Rock and Dwayne Johnson, aka Dwayne Johnson, then definitely tell them about this episode. But
Thank you for
For
hanging
now-
with us, Gen T and Vision Purse.
yes, thank you everybody for following along and chatting along with us today. That was very nice and giving us some great input. And that's it for now, guys. It's all geek to us.
Bye.
Ciao.